Now, the Treasury Select Committee, we're going to talk about this particular committee now because it says the government's coronavirus support schemes are failing more than 1 million people who should be receiving financial assistance. That's an awful lot of people. The group includes freelancers on short-term PAYE contracts and, of course, the newly self-employed as well. There is a huge hole that these people have fallen into. Well, last week, the committee published an interim report into gaps in the support to firms and workers and called on the Treasury to do whatever it takes to protect people and businesses. So are you one of the million so-called excluded? Have you needed financial help from the government during lockdown but haven't qualified for any? There were some heartbreaking stories on your call with Rachel earlier. This is one of them. Julie in County Durham. She got in touch.
I'm a new starter. I've worked 39 years and paid 39 years tax and full national insurance. I left my old company of 6 years on Friday the 13th, unlucky for me, and started my new company on the following Monday, the 16th of March. I worked the full week. I was there and then lockdown. And because I wasn't entered on the PAYE system for the 19th of March, the cut-off date, I was excluded exempt from getting any help from the job retention scheme. I lived on nothing for a couple of months and basically just mental health, honest to God, this is unreal. I've never, ever gone through anything like I'm going through now. It maxed up in my credit card because of the first couple of months. I'm up to my limit on my overdraft, and I've just had an email stating that it's going up the interest to 39% per month on my overdraft. I'm never going to get out of this. I'm getting deeper and deeper. I've got no hope of going back to work at the moment. The company's not got back to me to say whether I'm going back or what. I work in admin in the office, from one job office worker to another company. I'm now prescribed on beta blockers to stop the panic attacks, and I'm not sleeping. I've got terrible anxiety, and this last month has been pure hell for me because Rishi said nobody would be left behind. Well, I'm sorry, there's millions of us left behind, and there's hundreds of thousands of people in the same situation as me, just honest, hard-working folk from just all categories. You know, there's freelancers, there's all kinds of people. There's support workers, there's teachers, there's loads of people, supply teachers, and we all getting forgotten, all of us.
Julie in County Durham, who called Rachel earlier this morning. Jodie Mccallum also got in touch with us this morning. She's a freelance TV presenter, so hasn't been able to get any support from the government. She's also campaigning for change. Morning to you. Afternoon now, Jodie.
Afternoon. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm so sorry that you are in this group of people needing help, not getting it. I mean, the Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, has mounted a very strong defence of his aid packages. Let's start off with your story. How have the last few months been for you?
Oh, exhausting. Really, really exhausting. Just reiterating what Julie's been saying, it's been really, really taxing mentally. I class myself as one of the lucky ones because I'm still getting bits of work. So I'm breaking even at the moment. I'm just about covering my outgoings and I have savings to fall back on. So I class myself as one of the lucky ones, but I'm a PAYE freelancer. So I'm paid 100% through PAYE. So I'm not an employee of any of the companies that I work for, but I'm taxed at source. So I'm taxed through PAYE due to tax reasons because of HMRC introducing IR35. So I'm taxed at source, and it's not out of my choice. It's something that I have to be, it has to happen, and that's the case for a lot of people. So PAYE freelancers have been completely excluded from support. Obviously, when you're a freelancer, the chances of getting furloughed by a company are just very, very slim. That was never going to be an option for us. So most people can't be furloughed. And in terms of the other access, the other means of support, like a mortgage break. I don't even have a mortgage at the moment. I was saving up to get a mortgage. I've not had any of the other things that the Chancellor keeps pushing and saying that everyone's been, had access to some sort of support. I've not had any of that. And there's lots of people like Julie there that listening to that call was absolutely heartbreaking to hear that and to know that there is people who've had nothing, who've had absolutely nothing. And I can't believe we're this far down the line and we're still having to fight this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you are a PAYE, on a PAYE contract, so you're getting your tax and national insurance taken off a source, did you actually think going into this, well, I'll be okay then? I'll be okay
Absolutely.
because they're taking it off me before they give me my monthly salary.
Absolutely, and my cousin's an accountant, so I phoned her straight away when all this happened. She was like, "You'll be absolutely fine, you're PAYE, so I'm sure you'll be able to be furloughed." But I couldn't be furloughed. I couldn't be furloughed by any of my employers, and obviously one of them's still giving me work, which is great, but I can't be furloughed because we're freelancers, so we don't have any employee rights. So, and also the furlough scheme, it isn't as straightforward as what they're making out as well. So this isn't the fault of any employers, but I can't stress that enough. This isn't the employers that we're going after here. This is the government, this is the Chancellor, this was his doing. He's actually admitted from the Treasury Committee report that PAYE freelancers haven't been given a scheme at all. So he's admitted that he's been wrong, but he's not correcting that wrong. He's just gaslighting us. And I know that's a strong word to use, but this is exactly what's been going on. This has been 4 months of this. And actually, I'm working with a group at Forgotten PAYE, and the lady who is heading that up, Ellie Phillips, who's amazing, as an absolute trooper, has been doing extensive research into this. And actually, we've found that there's 5.8 million people who've been excluded. So this isn't just 1 million, this isn't just 3 million, which isn't a small number by any matter of means. This is 5.8 million people. This is huge. This is a scandal. We need everybody to get behind us and support us here to get us what we need.
Whenever he's asked about that, he is asked about that, and he is asked about this a lot, isn't he? He says, he kind of refers more widely to the economic programme and the support packages he's given out, and saying there's only so much we can do, and look what we've done. We've done what many other governments haven't done. If he was here now, what would you say to him?
Oh, I would say to him, you haven't done enough. Stop gaslighting us. Stop telling us how many people you've helped. Yes, your schemes have been amazing for the people that they have helped. Absolutely. No one's taken that away from you. However, you have left 5.8 million people behind. Help us. We need support and we need it now. It's been 4 months. It's not too complicated for you to fix this. The Treasury Committee have given you simple solutions. We've actually got an APPG with over 247 MPs on it who are campaigning, and they're meeting every 2 weeks. They're going to meet throughout recess. Meet with them. Chancellor, sit down and meet with them and listen to us and let us talk you through how you can help us. Stop ignoring us and stop just making out as if we're collateral damage. We've paid our taxes like everybody else. We've paid our money into the economy. Freelancers give so much money to the economy. We deserve parity of support just the same as everybody else. I would love to sit down with them and have 5 minutes with them and chat with them. I would love to. Honestly, I can't tell you how much that would be amazing for me.
If anyone from the Treasury is listening now, I think that would be a very productive conversation. Let's see if we can put you together. The thing is, you say it's not to do with employers and it's not their fault, but does it make you think about how we employ people? Because clearly, what's happening there, if you were a proper freelancer, you could just kind of dip in and work for whoever you wanted, and you could sort out your own finances. And had you been allowed to do that and not have to do these PAYE contracts with various employers, you might have had accounts, which would have meant you would have qualified for this scheme. So you've kind of, the way you're employed, put you in this halfway house, doesn't it? It doesn't give you the complete freedom that you can have as a freelancer. It ties you to certain working conditions with certain freelancers, but it doesn't give you the full benefits of a freelancer, does it? Do employers have to look at how they hire people? Do they have a moral responsibility to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this situation has just highlighted the fact that there has to be a total kind of recall on how we look at freelancers and how freelancers are treated across the board in every industry. Because, with PAYE freelancers, I thought it was just media. It's actually, it affects like nursing staff and all that as well. So it affects so many different people. So we have to look at this, and there has to be a reform. I know obviously IR35 is meant to be coming in next April, but there has to be a wee look at this, because like you say, if I was allowed to do my own books, I would be getting the self-employed income support scheme, and that would be fine, so they have to look at this, and we have to treat freelancers better in general. Luckily, the employers that I work for, I've been treated well, but I know that's not the case for everybody. So there has to be a complete reform and a complete relook at how we do this. If we have to be PAYE, then I think we do need to get some employee rights, but that really needs to be the bottom line, I think, with it.
Sounds pretty logical, doesn't it? Jodie, thank you so much. Very articulate putting forward of the argument there. And as I say, that offer still stands. If anyone from the Treasury is listening, Jodie would like to come along and sit down with Rishi Sunak and, tell you how it is, really. People are in very, very desperate straits, as we heard on your call this morning with Julie from County Durham. Jodie Mccallum there, who is a freelance TV presenter.